Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of
The
Twin Flames podcast. I am your co-host, Brett, joined by my lovely co-host,
Kenzie.
She's still Kenzie.
He's still Brett.
And we're both here. We had some technical difficulties in the last episode, and we are aware of that.
Yeah, we are aware, but we're on a come up, and we're only gonna get better from here.
Yeah, it can literally only go up from here. Because when you've hit your bottom, the only place you can go is up. We are, fighting the haters, and we are just, they're preying on our downfall.
And unfortunately, their prayers just can't reach us.
Their prayers are unanswered because we are both God warriors.
We're God-fearing people.
Yeah,
I'll
for
tell you that.
sure. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what we are. So, Kenzie, what are we going to be talking about
We're
today?
going to be talking about a very profound topic, very broad topic. And that topic today is going to be Disney.
Disney, not Dat-Knee. Disney. That was funny.
Oh, yeah, never speak again.
So I'm quitting the podcast. Thank you all so much. That was funny. That was a meme. That used to be a meme.
Do you have knee surgery tomorrow by any chance?
I don't. I tore my ACL. This is the end.
Oh, so
this is the end.
doing what?
I taking the dogs out. Slipping. It's a sport. I tore my ACL at Disney World. Imagine that clickbait. Tearing my ACL at Disney World. Anyway, let's talk about Disney. Mackenzie, how old were you when you realized you loved Disney?
I realized I love Disney when I saw my first Disney princess movie, which was actually Tangled in the theaters, accompanied by Brett.
Brett, me, and your mother, and the Delaney Delfonso was present.
Shout out Delaney.
We took Kenzie to see it. It was her first movie ever. I think you were like 4. Let me look at what year
Yeah, because
Tangled actually came out. You were little. You did not make it through the whole film without going to the potty, but we were still very proud of you.
I still haven't made it through a movie without going to the potty at my current age.
So that's hilarious. I can make it through many of Disney movies. I can usually make it through because there's not much of like a time it's not as long as other movies are.
Yeah.
Whereas like Wicked, we were cooked.
We saw a TikTok that said we had to wait for the train, and let's just say I left during that really bad slow song that Alphabet sang.
In the woods. Tangled was released on November 24th, 2010. So
I'd have been 2 when it came out.
Yeah. So you were like 2.5, 3, right? Yeah. No. You were born in 2008.
Correct.
So you were almost 3. Or you had turned 3? Question mark. I'm really bad at like months and years. But anyway, that was the first movie you saw in theaters.
Yeah, I loved it. And I still love it. It's still my favorite movie today.
Do you want to tell the folks at home what special Tangled item we share?
I would love to tell the folks at home. Me and Brett have matching tattoos of the Tangled sun that appears in the whole movie, the lanterns, when they're dancing,
like the
in
town
the
square. It's like this. I think it's like the symbol.
It's basically the symbol of
their family, the royal family.
Yeah,
Rapunzel's family.
I also painted the lanterns on my wall this past summer.
I do. A controversial statement is when it comes to the Disney princesses, I have a hard time getting behind the girls who were not born into royalty. Now, I have to give some consideration to those who married in, because they secured the bag.
Right.
But then there are those girls who were not born into royalty nor married in and are a part of the princess lineup.
But that doesn't mean they're a princess.
Yeah, like for example, Ariel.
Like, what does she have?
She's her father's King Neptune, so she's a princess of the sea.
Right.
But is she a princess of the land? But then she marries Prince Eric.
But where did he even come from?
The land.
But also then there's like Moana, and she's just not a princess at all.
But in like her village, she would be the princess because her father is like the chief of their tribe.
Well, that's just not how it works.
Yeah. And then you have Mulan, who's not married or born royalty, but she saved an entire nation. So like,
That does that make you a princess though?
and then you have Elsa, who's considered a Disney princess, but she's a queen.
Well, she's my queen.
She is a queen.
She is a queen and my queen.
And then Anna is just...
Let it go!
Oh, we're singing on the pod. Oh, you didn't know. This is also the musical episode. The Disney musical episode. We're
Love's
doing...
an open door!
Headphone users, I am so sorry.
Headphone users, you are seeing the debut of my musical career, so you can say your OG ticket is right here, right now.
If you may have heard the grumblings of a third person in the background, once again,
the rumblings of him talking, his stomach rumbling, him moving,
the rumblings,
the bed shaking, and
the
cracking.
rumblings were from his stomach. The noises were from his mouth. Not too much now. He's choking. Uh-oh. Jackson is our official timekeeper again. Jackson, do you have anything you'd like to say today, Kenzie? Thank you, Jackson. Thank you.
That was a lovely comment
Thank
you
you.
had there. Thank you.
you. Not too much now, Jackson. Remember who the stars are, honey. But yes, no, I love the Disney princesses. I think by far they are carrying the generation of
Right.
like through generations. They have stayed like the most constant. I think with some Pixar movies there's some like flops and bops.
Well, because like Toy Story is not keeping it going or anything.
Mackenzie, is it time for our first hot take of the podcast?
I think it might be.
Kenzie, please give the viewers your hot take.
My hot Disney take, the hottest, maybe even, is I do not think the Toy Story movies are good. I don't think any of them are good. I don't think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many they made, I don't know because I didn't watch it because they're not good. They're stupid, they're boring, and I don't like it.
That's very controversial.
I understand that, and they just don't have good taste if they like it.
Oh. So I will say, I grew up with Toy Story. So like when Toy Story 1 came out, I was a child. Then as it was older, I was like closer to Andy's age. Then the year I graduated high school and was going to college was when Toy Story 3 came out and Andy graduated high school and went to college. So am I Andy?
You can
am I Andy?
Yeah,
I don't know.
like...
I've never seen us in the same room at the same time. But what really took me out of the fantasy was Toy Story 4. You've not seen it?
I have not seen it. I've seen a Disney short about Forky.
Not a fan.
Didn't watch the movie.
Not a fan. Toy Story 4 is where it went downhill for me. Because I think we as a society need to know when things can be done. When they need to end. And I think Toy Story 3 is the perfect ending point. He went to college. He donated his toys to a little girl. They were happy. They were happy that he was leaving and that they were going to someone. And then in Toy Story 4, it was really just like a fever dream of like,
yeah, it just gets
what's
like
happening.
Off topic at some point.
Yeah, like a lot of the Disney princess films have a sequel, and I'm also like, I don't need that. I got what I needed from those girls in
like
there.
There's an Ariel. I don't know if it's a movie or something, but she has like a daughter in it.
Yeah.
Not native.
There's a second Cinderella. I've never seen that.
Never seen that.
There's a third Cinderella.
Definitely never seen that.
Now I do like the winter. I don't know what it is, but it's like a Beauty and the Beast, like Christmas or like winter special, and that's when Belle busts out that pink
she did
winter gown, and she said, "Y'all can't handle it." No, you know what? I've learned growing up is I'm big into Cinderella, and I think it's because of her color scheme. Because blues and silvers are like kind of like my go-to, and for Christmas I got the Cinderella Owala.
Right.
And you got what from me for Christmas?
I did get the Rapunzel Owala, and I'm obsessed. I haven't put her to use yet because I'm scared to like dent her or scratch her.
Yeah, that's the risk we will have to take. So I brought up Pixar and said there were some bops and flops there. Do you have a favorite Pixar film?
What is Pixar?
So Toy Story is Pixar. Pixar is like their special animation studio. So
yeah, that's great.
Oh.
So
okay.
Let me introduce you to something called Bao.
That's the Pixar short with like the little dumpling.
Now, when I tell you, many, many summers ago, me and Jackson decided we were going to watch Bao. And I was like, oh, this is when we had just gotten Disney Plus. Like, I was like, well, like, this looks cute.
Oh,
like,
when you have gotten Disney Plus, or when I have bought you Disney Plus and you just shared my login?
whatever, however you see it. We watched this short film of Bao, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm really getting emotional. And I look over at Jackson, and he's laughing at me. And by the end of it, I was bawling my eyes out for 30 minutes straight.
30?
30, yes. Do you know you have 30 minutes of crying? 30, yes. It really was just emotional. And I think everybody should watch it. Like, I feel like...
I think I've seen it, but I don't think I've had quite the emotional response as you.
For 30 minutes.
So let me just, like, list off some Pixar movies to you. And then, therefore, you also know that the sequels of these movies are all Pixar films. Cars, Toy Story, Inside Out.
Inside Out, I can't get behind Inside Out. I think both movies were actually pretty good.
Up.
Horrible. Absolutely, positively horrible.
Okay, so now
the main character looks like Jackson. There's an old guy in it. Why?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the old guy that looked like Jackson.
I mean, him too, honestly.
Both of them. The spirit of the old man, the looks of Russell the Wilderness
is Jackson.
Monsters, Inc.
Now, I will say Boo is one of my favorite
Disney characters.
I love her. Coco,
WALL-E, Finding Nemo.
I don't like WALL-E. So stupid.
Oh,
so dumb.
It's a hot. WALL-E itself is a hot take on society as a whole and how we're going to the crapper.
I do love. What did you say before that?
Coco, Finding Nemo.
Love Coco.
It's okay. It's all right. Like Coco. It doesn't. The Incredibles. Not too much on the Incredibles now. After the Incredibles, the first movie came out. Mimi took me to the Disney store at Century 3 Mall, and you best believe I walked. I don't know if you've ever did you ever go to that Disney store at Century 3 Mall, or only the one that used to be at South Hills Village?
No, I think I've maybe been to the one at Century 3 maybe like once or
before
twice.
It closed down.
Yeah.
And I marched myself right up to the Incredibles rack and bought every Incredibles thing I can get. And Mimi said, "Who's buying this?" I said, "You, girlfriend." Ratatouille. Ratatouille
is the bane of my existence.
Now this is where I'm gonna get on my high horse. Luca.
Now, when I tell you I watched Luca at my big age of whenever it came out, because
2021.
2021. So I was fully
13, 14.
13. That's still like low key my big age. I was like, oh my god, this is the best movie I've ever watched.
That was before we had adopted Asher, so it was just me, Greg Parker, and I. And when I tell you Greg and I were both hysterical. First of all, let's just call it what it is. Luca and Alberto are 100% homosexuals.
Lovers.
I know everyone's gonna be like, Disney is pushing the gay agenda on children. Whatever, I don't care. Though that story is that is a love story between like those two boys, and that's not why I liked it. Because had that not been like the plot, I would have still liked it as much as I did. I just think it's like such a the movie itself is a hot take. Because it's, people that are different coming into a society where they're not accepted for being different.
Yeah, like I think it's a really good movie for like kids
so
growing
good.
up.
I was hysterical when spoiler alert, if you've never seen Luca, spoiler alert. When he
took that train.
When he pushed him into the water and he was like, sea monster, and like when Luca pretended he wasn't a sea monster, and like they turned on Alberto. But then Luca like saved Alberto in like the rain, and like he like went in the race. Oh,
the race.
Now, your first movie you saw in theaters was Tangled.
Yes.
Jackson's first movie he saw in theaters, very fitting.
Talking about Jackson
because it's a Pixar film, was Brave. Merida.
Hottest take in the world. Merida is literally a stupid ginger. Every time I see a picture of her, I literally wish she like. The bear ate her.
If you had the chance to change your fate, would ya?
Yeah, I would change you to not exist.
Oh.
I wish her mom would have ate her as a bear and killed her.
A Bug's Life.
Stupid.
No,
Stupid.
Bugs. I am so
boring, sloppy,
lazy,
yawning.
I'm so upset that they got rid of. It's tough to be a bug at Disney World. That was one of my favorite. That and the Festival of the Lion King were my two favorite sit-down attractions.
I also do quite enjoy the Mike Wazowski. Comedy show.
The comedy
That's
show.
Cute. I like that.
Onward was also a Disney Pixar film. I loved Onward. Did you watch Onward? That came out during COVID.
Wait, what was that?
It was the two they're like the blue troll brothers, and they have to find their dad.
Oh
but
God,
the dad's dead, and they like bring him back to life, kind of. The Good Dinosaur, Finding Dory, Turning Red, Not too much on Turning
Turning
Red.
Red Loki did eat.
Because my Turning Red party we had.
We did have a Turning Red party. And it low-key ate.
You're going to be so excited to know that in 2026, you'll be getting Toy Story 5. So you have that to look forward to.
And they'll be getting a nasty email.
Oh. From the Twin Flames podcast.
Literally.
You're going to be getting that. You didn't like Cars?
No, it's stupid.
Yeah. I guess Cars wasn't really good.
Stupid. Now, let's get into the real best movies of Disney.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Descendants,
yes. Now, at my big age, I had never seen a Descendants film. Because when the first Descendants film came out, I was well past the
Right.
First of all, for those of you who are of my generation, you know that on Fridays were DCOM days, and DCOMs were Disney Channel original movies, and almost every Friday or 2 Fridays a month, Disney Channel produced an original movie, and those were you could not touch them. That was like the era of that's like Raven Simone, Hilary Duff, Brenda Song, Christy Carlson Romano, and those were the characters. Obviously, that's Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Wendy Wu, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Hannah Montana,
I loved Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life.
No one was doing it. No one was doing it like them, and no one. Yeah. So the first Descendants film came out in 2015. So that was 10 years ago. So I was 22. Yeah. So I was well past my prime. Now, when Descendants 4 came out, The Rise of Red, the little girls were like, oh, we want to watch the new Descendants movie. And I was like, I can get into that. So we had a Descendants-themed Rise of Red party.
Not to be confused with the Turning Red party.
Not to be confused with the Turning Red party. We've had 2 Red parties. So then after we watched the Descendants Rise of Red, and I said, hold on here, they're on to something.
And then, of course, I was like, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, because that movie had nothing on the original 3.
The 1, 2, and 3. And then I did do a hard rewatch of all 3 Descendants films in 3 days. And when I tell you, oh, mama.
Life-changing.
The soundtrack, first of all, R.I.P. Cameron Boyce.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Such a
sad, sure, he's a very good looking young man, but also just like such a sad thing to be like that young and that talented. And he was such like an advocate for like equal rights and like, just everything. To lose someone like him, like, you kind of get upset because like it's someone that was trying to like make the world a better place.
Yeah.
But anyway,
he was so hot,
and he was very good looking. He was a cutie pie. But the Descendants films, banger after banger, they were ahead of their time. Banger after banger after banger, bop after bop
after bop. The soundtracks, the costuming.
The acting,
the casting,
the effects, the CGI. I believed that Mal turned into a dragon.
I did too.
Dove Cameron, I thought she was half dragon.
Me as well.
I know we both have the same thought in mind. Let's say the best Descendants character there ever was. 1, 2, 3. Evie.
Sophia Carson,
the Evil Queen, his daughter of the Evil Queen, carried the films.
Truly.
Bodied the choreography in every number she was in. Vocals were rarely touched by anyone else.
And in Descendants 3, when she got her own song,
finally got her own solo.
Was added to my actual playlist that I listen to my car every day.
She was in my Spotify. She was in my Apple Music and Spotify Wrapped of 2024. And
it's
someone said, "Who is that?"
Such a good song.
Such a good. Now, she's also one half of the best song to come from the Descendants franchise. 1, 2, 3.
Now, let's just say hot take, because he's going to say "Chilling Like a Villain."
No.
He does think that's a good song.
No, I think
it's just wrong.
No, my favorite song from Descendants is "Chillin' Like a Villain" because it features Evie so prominently and Prince Ben, who I love. But the best song that Kenzie and I literally, it is like our song.
They made it for us.
They made it for us. They made it for the Twin Flame podcast. Sophia Carson, Dove Cameron, if you're listening, thank you. Is Kenzie on 3? 1, 2, 3. Space between. We don't want to give you a sample because
Mama, you gotta listen to the whole thing.
I haven't warmed up. If you have a best friend or a sister, sibling, close cousin that you feel close cousin is crazy, that you feel just like connected to, but also like might not see all the time or like you're apart from, you need to listen to The Space Between. And it is just like a ballad. Kenzie and I will dance to it at her wedding.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, we absolutely will. In full costume.
Oh,
in full costume.
no, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I'll dye my hair purple.
Wigs and all.
Because I know as much as I want to be Evie, I'm Mal.
Yeah.
In that world. But yeah, no, the Disney Channel, the Descendants, I feel like your Descendants was my High School Musical, because it was like a trilogy of musical movies back in that time, and that was like where like the girls and the gays really thrived, was with High School Musical. Yeah. And we were fully represented. We had Zac Efron as Troy Bolton, who was like the cute jock. Then we had the gay one, which was Lucas Grabeel, who played oh my God, what's his name? Sharpay and Ryan Evans.
Oh, love Sharpay.
I love Sharpay. Ashley Tisdale. Another underappreciated Disney girlie was Ashley Tisdale. And Vanessa Hudgens, I will say that. Monique Coleman was Taylor. She was the smart one. And then Corbin Bleu was Chad, and he was like the other the six main characters. He was like Zac Efron's Troy Bolton's best friend. Just those movies were also ahead of it. Bop to the Top. And people want us to believe that Sharpay and Ryan were the villains of High School Musical.
No, they were just the baddies.
No, they had been training and preparing for the senior musical their whole lives, and out of nowhere come Troy and Gabriella, and they just take that from them. Mind you,
they didn't really do their bit.
Hot take: Zac Efron didn't even sing in the first movie. He was dubbed over by another singer, Drew Seeley, who you will know. Drew Seeley, Kenzie. He was the main character in another Cinderella story with Selena Gomez. Yes. So that boy was the boy who was singing Zac Efron's singing voice in the first movie. So he's a fraud. So you're lip syncing and you're stealing the role.
I don't have to lip sync. I mean, you heard me sing "Love Is an Open Door" with Jackson a second ago.
Unfortunately, they did.
Oh,
not. That's
gonna be the most replayed part.
I don't necessarily. I guess my hottest take for Disney was the princess thing, because that gets me. Now, when it comes to DComs, they don't make them like they. Also, didn't Disney Channel just go off the air?
Yeah.
I just saw that. Like I did
see that.
People on TikTok were like crying, and I'm like, I don't. You have Disney Plus, babe. Like.
Yeah, I just like don't think they're making like anything new. I think it was.
Yeah. Well, or if they do, it's just gonna be released on Disney Plus, which everyone has streaming services now. It's 2025.
Yeah. Like we don't even like have cable anymore because we don't watch it.
Yeah, we also don't have cable. We have every streaming service there is. So I'm like, what's the need for cable?
I think we should now talk about who the finest Disney man is, because I already know.
Well, I think I have a guess of who yours is.
So I am gonna go ahead and either say Ross Lynch, because I love that man. I've always loved that man. And Austin and Ally, I was like, I'm way better than Ally. It's like, why can't it be me? But
when he was like actually 16 and you were
literally,
7,
and I was like, I'm in there low key. Like
2016's most kissable.
Stop.
Not too much.
Not too much. My back's a late healed. Not too much. But I think I'm going to have to say Ross Lynch tied with Thomas Daugherty. And if you don't know who Thomas Daugherty is, he does play Harry Hook in Descendants.
Yes.
And that man. Oh, that man.
Yeah. See, for me, I think, I don't know. Because, I mean, back in the day, Zac Efron was like that. Like,
which
he
is
was that
an
boy.
Insane take.
Well, back in the day it was not, but now.
Well, the light skinned like guy with the curly hair and
Corbin Bleu.
He was way hotter than Zac Efron.
Yes,
always.
Corbin Bleu was super cute. He had his own Disney Channel movie too. It was called Jump In with Keke Palmer.
I'm watching it.
It was Keke Palmer was a Disney girl too.
Let It Shine.
Was that a Disney movie?
Let It Shine.
Oh yes. What was the? I'm thinking of the Nickelodeon
besides
one.
Tangled, probably my favorite Disney movie. It was
That's a hot take.
That is a hot take. It's not because it's like about like music's like whatever, but I thought it was a really good movie. The soundtrack's really great, and it just like really speaks to me. Like when I listen to the song, like I really like get into it. You're feeling your oats. Yeah, no, I log in. Like let me tell you, I know you heard "Love Is an Open Door" earlier, but you ain't never heard that. I mean, I guess. Well, now that he's of age, I think Ross Lynch has become very attractive. Extremely. To the point of no return. He's good looking. Who is the boy from...
He was on Hannah Montana, the movie. That blonde boy. You never saw that. I always thought he was cute. I love a good blonde. I love a blonde. He was like in the movie, but I don't know what his name. Lucas Till, maybe. I don't know why that's ringing a bell. But yeah, I don't know. The Disney boys were by. No, you're gonna think I'm crazy. You know who I always thought was really cute was the drummer boy from Lemonade Mouth, who I think was also the brother on Dog with a Blog. He had like the shoulder length brown hair.
He is the brother on Dog with a Blog.
Yes, yeah.
He's like fine. Now, let me talk to you about Rory from My Babysitter's a Vampire, because that man, so fine.
No, you know who else? Teddy's boyfriend that cheated on her in Good Luck Charlie. I always thought he was cute too.
He's so basic looking.
And I always thought, we didn't even bring up the star of, like, I think the biggest Disney Channel star that was made was Zendaya.
I
don't think there's any denying that, like, because she was a Disney girl. She was. Shake It Up.
That
Casey
was
Undercover.
Literally my favorite show when I was little, and then it turned to Casey Undercover.
And now she's like the A-list of A-list celebrities.
Literally.
Like,
she can act, she can sing,
she can dance, she can model, fashion,
literally on
down, mug.
Congrats on the engagement.
Literally engaged to Tom Holland. She's, how does it feel to live my dream?
So Tom Holland is not cute.
Oh, so I do think good thing you wear glasses because you are blind.
Yeah. Good thing your prescription's higher than mine.
Whoa. So not too much on that because I wear contacts. Not right now. But yeah, no. I will say I think out of all the Disney girls there ever was and will be, Zendaya like broke that mold on like fame. And breaking into the industry and using her, and it's so sad because her counterpart from Shake It Up, Bella Thorne, did not have as much success. But
did she like go off the rails
a little bit? And then she was in Scream, the TV series. Remember, she was like the opening.
I personally know her better from being in the Netflix horror movie. What is it called?
The Babysitter.
The Babysitter.
Yes, yeah.
Those are actually good movies you should watch.
Yeah, she was funny in there.
She's really funny in it.
She was cute. But yeah, shout out to Zendaya. You did it, girl.
Now, what do you think like an underrated Disney show or movie is?
Fish hooks for the show.
So what is that?
Heavy on fish hooks. Heavy on
you lost everybody.
Hooks.
Now you lost everybody.
No, there are people out there that know the fish hooks lore. Underrated is fish hooks for sure. Underrated movie? I don't know. I feel like no Disney movie is truly underrated because there's so many Disney fans in the world that every movie has its niche fans. I think old movie Atlantis: The Lost Empire, that was kind of underrated. I don't think it got the love it deserved. Newer underrated Disney movie. I don't know. I think Turning Red is kind of underrated. Maybe.
Yeah, that was because
I think as times change and kids get older, we need to realize that like we need to, introduce more things into the world. And Turning Red, if you don't know what it's about, it was a controversial because they were like, oh, it's talking about like little girls like going through things and stuff like that. But like it's important to cover a variety of topics, and if a cartoon can help a child understand that, I think that's important.
Now, me personally.
Oh God, here we go.
I think the most underrated movie is Princess Protection Program. If you don't know what that is, it's with Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato. That was so good.
That just made me think of the Princess Diaries. And that is the Princess Diaries 1 and 2. Yes.
Twitches, like hello.
Twitches. Oh my gosh, we could go on for another hour about this.
And I think the most underrated show was with a little bit like when I got a little bit older. It was, I don't even know if you know what it is. It was called Best Friends Whenever. And it was about two best
traveled in time.
They time traveled. But it was like their friendship, and it was like really like
that's
cute.
The devil's magic. I'm just kidding.
So what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I definitely I remember we saw Princess Diaries in theaters. Mimi and your mother. Such a good film. Film. Princess Diaries 2, when Julie Andrews and Raven sing, they sing, what song do they sing? Oh my gosh, I can't remember what song they sing, but they like slide on mattresses. amazing.
Now,
Favorite Disney villain? Favorite Disney villain?
Favorite Disney villain? You go first.
I'm gonna have to give it to. I think I have to give it to. The most cruel Disney villain is absolutely Cruella because she wants to knock off puppies. But I think the best Disney villain. I don't know. Maleficent is such like a cliche,
Yeah,
but I
so
mean,
like basic.
I mean, yeah, Maleficent.
I personally love Mother Gothel,
Yeah,
and for some reason, I have been loving Captain Hook lately.
because of Harry.
Like
Harry Hook.
Harry Hook, like hello, like I won't say it, but you know what I want to say.
Oh goodness, Kenzie. Any final thoughts on Disney?
I actually
Pixar?
do have a final thought
Final
because
thought.
we didn't talk about something very important
Oh,
in the
let's-
Disney world. It's a movie that really struck everybody. Jackson, do you want to tell us what that movie was? Frozen?
Yo.
Jackson, do you want to tell us what that movie was?
He's thinking. He's lost. Kenzie, do you want to tell us what that movie was?
Okay, so Jackson clearly is useless. So we're going to talk about Encanto for a second.
Oh my
And
god.
we're going to
No.
give a segment to Jackson.
No. We cannot give him a microphone. This is where
because unfortunately we don't have time.
We don't have time. But let me tell you, we watched Encanto as a family. It was a cute movie.
Very cute.
Good songs.
It was really good. I loved.
We as a family really connected with the film because a lot of the characters we could all relate to.
Yeah, and they're like the
There
family's
was,
very close.
but also like the roles, like, you
Right.
know, like the strong one, the one that's more quiet and reserved, the perfect child, Briella. Glop. When I tell you, before we had watched the film, Jackson knew every song by heart.
By heart.
And
Like he was in the ensemble.
he was, yes, like he was a part of the crew. And then weeks later, I was telling a story about someone that I had known that got left at the altar of their wedding. And I said, I mean, she has such a hard life. And Jackson,
Mind
unironically,
you, he's being like 100% dead serious. Like he was mad.
looks at me and goes, yeah, you know who else has a hard life? Alma. And I went, I'm sorry, who? And he went, Alma.
And now we're like, what are you
like,
talking
Greg,
about, honey?
Greg
Like,
looks at me and I look at Greg and I look at Kenzie and I go, Jackson, Alma who? And he goes, Alma Madrigal. She not only had to raise 3 children by herself, she had to watch her husband lose his life fleeing from their town, and then had this gift and curse bestowed upon their family, and then which they had to generate, and she had to break down a generational curse of, and is going on this like in-depth character analysis on the
Yes.
grandmother from Encanto.
that does not exist.
And
I
had to like put down like what I was doing, and I had to look at him and I said, Jackson, honey, she's
not
real. She's not real. That was an animated movie.
And now he wants to defend himself,
it
but
was
he
an
knows what he
animated-
did.
It was an animated film, Jackson. She's not real. Jackson, I will give you a solid 15 seconds to defend yourself.
Of
Your
why
time
you would
starts.
ever let that come
Your
out of
time
mouth.
starts now.
So at that time, I feel like there was a lot going
So you're
on.
yelling. You are yelling.
So
There's
there's
a
absolutely
microphone.
nothing going on. Sorry, I'm just like used to having the microphone. So I don't know why, but I just feel like I really resonated with that movie in that time of my life. Now looking back, would I have made the same choices? Probably not. But at the time, let's just say. That's right.
Your time's
Mind
up.
you, Alma's role in the movie was like
The villain. She was the villain.
not only the villain, but she was like the leader of the family. Like she led all these ceremonies when they got their powers. And mind you, Jackson sits on the couch all day, so I don't really know how he resonates with her and her role in the family.
She was. I think in every Disney movie has a villain, whether it's like the clear villain or like the anti-hero.
Right.
And she was I mean, she came around at the end. She checked herself and she apologized, but
But she didn't check herself quick enough.
she sure did not. The miracle is not some magic that you got. The miracle is you not that gift, just you.
And Dolores was obviously the best.
Oh,
character.
Dolores was the best character in Encanto. Absolutely.
Y'all always talking about Isabella. But
Isabella.
it was definitely
Isabella.
Dolores. Who is
Dolores.
Dolores?
Dolores.
Dolores is a YouTuber I watch, so shout out to her. Shout out to my girl.
Shout out to Doris and Dolores. My goodness. On that note, we gave Jackson his 5s, his 10 seconds of fame. Kenzie is now dying. She's
Overheating.
Like overheating.
I'm overheated.
I'm freezing. I am frozen.
Brett, you're the villain in my story, having it this hot in this room.
In this room, there's no heat flow at all, and it's freezing. Well, everyone, this was a little bit. We went over our allotted time for this, but I think it was.
We could still talk for so much longer.
It was justified. There will absolutely be a part 2 on Disney. There will also be a second.
Not to be confused with the Disney World stories.
The Disney World and Disneyland lore of our family. So we will definitely be getting into that. Make sure that you like this podcast, you share this podcast, you follow us on all of our social media platforms that the Twin Flames are on. Make sure you follow Kenzie and I. If you have any topics that you would like to see us cover or request for content, let us know. Slide into our DMs. The DMs are open. Leave a comment down below. We are on all the major platforms, so, let us know. With that said, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of the Twin Flames podcast. I've been your host, Brett.
And this is Kenzie.
And we will see you all later. Ta-ta for now.